Three in London. It's the year 1898, and you are Mycroft, the famous detective, and you are sitting on your house in London. On cold November evening, there's a knock at the door. It's the Inspector Freewell of the London Police. Can you come to Whitechapel's Meet-about? We need your help. There's a woman on the street. She isn't dead, but there's blood everywhere. We think it's a Whitechapel killer again. You push on your coat. Go to 18. You are in Anne's house. A woman comes in. Who are you? What are you doing here? She asked. You tell her about Annie. That's terrible. She says. Do you know any of her friends? You asked. The woman thinks her best friend is a woman called Rosie. She lives in Lamhouse Street, but she has a boyfriend. That's him, there in that picture. I don't like him. You go back to the roads and crowd to talk to the other people. Go to 10. You go to Lamhouse Street to look for roses. Go to 35. You want to get on to the Californian and talk to Jack. You jump in the water and swim after the ship. Go to 8. You cannot swim. You think about how you can get onto the ship. Go to 30. Do you know the name of the woman in the streets? You ask the old man. He cannot hear you and he does not answer. Go to 10. You go across the bridge, but you cannot see the Californian. There's a sailor in one of the small boats, and there's an old man fishing. You ask the sailor for help. Go to 24. You ask the old man for help. Go to 34. You talk to the young man. He comes into the street and looks at the woman. Her name's Annie, I think. He says, do you know where she lives? Yes, she lives in Cable Street, I think. You go back into the roads and crowd and talk to the other people. Go to 10. You go to Cable Street. Go to 30. The current of the Californian called the three jacks. Which jack do you want to speak to? The jack on the left, go to 17. The jack in the middle, go to 23. The jack on the right, go to 31. You jump into the water and swim after the ship, but the ship is going very fast. After 5 minutes, the Californian is out of the London and down and going to India, and you are now very cold. Go to 22. You tell Rosie about Annie. I'm Annie's best friend. She says she's crying, but she has a boyfriend. Who's he? You ask. A sailor. His name Jack. He's orphaned at her house in Capra Street. His ship in the London docks now, I think. I want to find Jack. So you go to the docks to go to 14. You want to find out more about Annie, so you go to her house in Capra Street. Go to 19. There are 4 people on the roads in crowds. You want to ask some questions about the women on the street. Who do you talk to first? You talk to the old man. Go to 4. You talk to the young man. Go to 6. You talk to the old woman. Go to 15. You talk to the young woman. Go to 28. The sailor looks at you. Jack, he says, there are hundreds of sailors called Jack. There's a Jack on every ship. You must find the name of Jack's ship. You go to Annie's room to look for more information. Go to 19. You're in the London docks. There are hundreds of sheep. You want to find the Californian and you want to catch Jack. You go across the bridge. Go to 5. You go to the right. Go to 20. You go to the left. Go to 29. There's a bridge across the water. You go on the bridge and jump onto the Californian. You go to the cabin. There's a man on your ship. You must talk to. You say his name is Jack. Why do you want to talk to him? He asked. He's a white sharper killer, I think. There are 3 Jack on my ship, says the captain. Can you see them all? You ask. Go to 7. You go to the London docks to look for Jack. Any friend? There are hundreds of sheep and thousands of sailors. You talk to a sailor. Do you know a sailor called Jack? You ask. Go to 11. You talk to an old woman. She comes into the streets and looks at the young woman. Her name's Annie, she says. Do you know where she lives? You ask. Yes, she lives in Copper Street. I don't know what number. She answers. You go back to Rose and Crown and talk to the other people. Go to 10. You go to Copper Street. Go to 30. You knock at the white door, and a young woman opens the door. Are you Rosie? You ask. Yes. Are you a friend of Annie? Yes, she says. I've got bad news for you. You say. I'm afraid she's very ill. No, Rosie starts to cry. Go to 9. You talk to Jack on the left. He's not the white sharper killer. Go to 7. The white sharper killer attacks people with a long knife. 6 women are dead because of him. You rise in white sharper and the police are waiting for you there. The woman is lying in the trees near the Rose and Crown. She is very ill, so she cannot talk to you. You see some bicycle tracks on the road. You follow the bicycle tracks. Go to 25. You go into the Rose and Crown. You want to talk to the people there. Go to 10. You look in Annie's house and find the letter. The Californian, Saturday, Annie. Tomorrow my ship is going to India. Please meet me at the Rose and Crown tonight, and I have something very important to you, Jack. So the name of Jack's ship is Californian. Is Jack the man you want? Is Jack the white sharper killer? You go to the London dock to look for Jack on the Californian. Go to 12. There are a lot of sheep, but you cannot see the Californian here. Go back to 12. You knock on the blue door, and old man opens it. I'm looking for Rosie, you say. She doesn't live here, he says. She lives in the White House, I think. Go to 16. The white sharper killer is free. Can you be a better detective next time? Try again. Go to 1. You talk to the Jack in the middle. He is not the white sharper killer. Go to 7. You talk to the sailor. Do you know a ship called the Californian? You ask him. The sailor looks at you. I'm from Russia, he says. I do not speak English. Go to 5. You follow the bicycle tracks to bigger road, so you cannot see the tracks anymore. Go to 18. You knock on the red door. There's no one at home. Go to 35. There's a knife in this pocket, and there's blood on it. This Jack is a white sharper killer. Go to 33. Do you know the name of the woman in the street? You ask the young woman of the rose and crown. She comes out into the street and loves her. I don't know her name, but she says a friend called Rosie asked her. Where does Rosie live? You ask. She lives in Lamb's House Street. You go back to the Rose and crowd and talk to other people. Go to 10. You go to Lamb's house to find roses. Go to 35. You go to the East India Dock. You can see the Californian, but it is sailing out of the dock. You can see Jack, so you try to get on the tree. The ship. Go to 3. You cannot see Jack on the ship. You can go to the hobby store and talk to Annie, and you can write to the Indian police about Jack. Go to 22. You go to Cabra Street and talk to the people there. After a few minutes, you find any house. You look at everything very carefully. Go to 2. You talk to the Jack on the right. Do you know a woman called Annie? You ask. No, he says, but this Jack has an earring, and there's something in his pocket. Is this a knife? Perhaps this Jack is a wife sharper killer. Go to 27. Another good day work from Microbound. The great detective finishes. You go back to your house. No criminals escaped in London when Microbe. The great detective is at work. The captain helps you, and you arrest the grasshopper killer. You take him off the ship and give him to the police. Go to 32. You talk to the old man. Do you know a ship called the Californian? You ask him. Yes, he says. It's going to India today, so it's in the East India Dock. You must find the East India Dock. Go to 12. You go to Lamb's House Street. You are looking for roses. Any friend? Which house do you want to try first? The house with the white door, go to 16. The house with the blue door, go to 21st. The house with the red door, go to 26.